I picked up this weird glass box off the street and found a whole miniature cultivation world inside. A lobster I just casually tossed in ended up becoming a terrifying demon lord. A little toy sword became a divine weapon that sealed an emperor. To them, I was an all-powerful overlord. But little did they know, I was just a cancer patient with less than 3 months to live. So I ordered a 3880 lobster delivery and started messing around with the switches on that hologram box. It pulled up this massive desert. There was this tiny little figure darting around nonstop. Had to grab a magnifying glass to see clearly. It was actually a girl. She was covered in wounds, with 2 vicious black wolves hot on her tail. The girl spun around in desperation and pointed back. Shards of earth burst into streaks of light, shooting at the wolves, but they dodged it easy and tackled her straight to the ground. They started tearing into her. Man, this hologram is way too realistic. I just couldn't watch anymore. The old man mentioned this thing could be interactive, so I grabbed 2 toothpicks and dropped them in from above, right onto those wolves. The toothpicks came crashing down from the sky. Those wolves, barely a millimeter tall, got impaled instantly. Gu Qinghan's face went pale with shock. He frantically looked around, but there was nothing around except barren wasteland. No time to think. He swallowed a healing pill and sat down to recover. 15 minutes later, Gu Qinghan had gotten some strength back. He walked up to those 2 massive wooden pillars and stared at the dead wolf demons and shuddered. That kind of power, definitely a grandmaster. I am Gu Qinghan, disciple of the Qinglei sect. Thank you, senior, for saving my life. But time passed, and no one answered. Because right now, that senior was at the door grabbing his 3880 delivery. I walked back to my room, hugging that box of premium shrimp, ready to dig in, when I spotted the tiny girl in the glass box, kneeling in front of the toothpicks, saying something. I leaned in close, and finally made out what she was saying. Thank you, senior, for your help. Please take back your divine weapon before someone else gets to it. Divine weapon? These are literally just 2 toothpicks. Dude, the interactive feature on this thing is absolutely insane. It even auto-generates a storyline. I ignored her and kept eating, watching that tiny girl. Small, but honestly, really cute. Gu Qinghan paced anxiously around the toothpicks, then just collapsed. He hadn't eaten in half a month, only at the 13th level of Qi refinement, not yet able to go without food. His eyes landed on the wolf demon's corpse. To survive, he had no choice. Gu Qinghan sliced off a chunk of wolf meat and put it in his mouth. The stench was overwhelming. Almost made him gag, but to stay alive, he had to swallow it. I was just staring, so I gently set a lobster claw down next to the little guy. A huge, fiery red thing crashed right in front of him. The ground shook a few times. What kind of demon beast claw is this? It's enormous! Suddenly, a voice echoed in his mind. Gu Qinghan frantically looked around, but still saw nothing. But he understood. Senior has helped me again. Thank you! Just the smell alone, Gu Qinghan felt a surge of strength come rushing back. He tested it, swinging his flying sword, but all he heard was a sickening metal crunch. His sword snapped clean off. The claw didn't have a scratch. Gu Qinghan stared at his broken sword in disbelief, eyes welling up with tears. Their sect was already broke, and this sword was forged by his master who'd saved every penny. Meanwhile, I was watching the little guy with great amusement. That 3880 was totally worth it. Look at that little dude about to cry. So realistic. I decided to crack open the claw and see what the little guy would do. Stand back! Gu Qinghan heard the voice and looked up, confused. A massive golden hand appeared out of thin air and came down from the sky. It effortlessly grabbed the demon beast's claw, and with one sharp crack, it split wide open. The golden hand slowly faded into the air. Gu Qinghan's mind was spinning. He'd figured the senior was powerful, but not this powerful. Staring at all that white, tender meat, he just couldn't hold back anymore. He dug in without any dignity. Watching Gu Qinghan go absolutely feral somehow made me hungry too. But then I noticed something was off. The shrimp meat in the box was less? How does a hologram make real food disappear? I looked back at the 2 toothpicks, covered in wolf demon blood. No way. No freaking way. Was the cancer spreading to my brain? Was I hallucinating? I ran my hands through my hair and decided to run a quick test. I started studying the box environment. The scene it displayed was always centered on the girl. Couldn't see anything farther out. Was this thing only showing a 300-meter radius around her? I was still thinking it over when I suddenly noticed the ground was moving. Something underground was creeping toward the girl. I yelled out, "Watch out!" Gu Qinghan, still mid-meal, heard the voice and instinctively grabbed his broken sword. He scanned the area in the distance. A wall of yellow sand was rising. Something was closing in fast. Sandworms, damn it! Aren't these things supposed to be dormant? Why'd they wake up? Wait. Gu Qinghan seemed to realize something. He glanced back at the red claw behind him. But that split second of distraction, the nearly 20-meter-long sandworm, was already right in his face. It opened its fang-filled mouth wide. Gu Qinghan gripped his broken sword and leapt at it before it could strike. The worm clearly underestimated him. One careless moment, and Gu Qinghan drove the broken blade straight into its skull. The sandworm shrieked in pain and thrashed wildly. I was getting more anxious by the second. Then my eyes landed on the lighter sitting on the table. I grabbed it fast and popped out the piezoelectric igniter from inside. Move! Gu Qinghan heard the senior's voice again and let the worm fling him aside. Then everything changed. The sky that had been clear just moments ago suddenly erupted with a demonic gale.